Hi everyone, Smitty here. I have completed week 3 of my Juggernaut AI powerlifting comp prep. I am 62 days out from my next powerlifting meet. I really need to sign up to the competition and register with the federation. Might shut this door while I can. Yeah, had a good week. One thing I wanted to mention on the app that I haven't mentioned yet, as far as reviewing the app, at the end of each week, where is it? At the end of each week, you click complete week, and then it asks you a bunch of questions on like if you enjoyed the volume or if you can handle more or if it was too much. I think I've forgotten to mention that in previous videos, and this week I actually did suggest that the bench press work wasn't really too hard. Like the volume for me, because my weights on bench press are quite light, it's a lot of work around. On the heavy day, it's 90 to 100, and I can kind of do 4 or 5 sets there without really breaking a sweat or needing long rest times. I think if I was benching 120, 130, if my max was like 160 and my rep work was a bit higher, then it would be more exhausting. But because the numbers aren't that big, so I just think that's a cool feature that you can adjust and put things in like that. So as far as my week, it was the first week where I had kind of a dud session or some negative parts that weren't feeling too great. And all things considered, like for how many good sessions I had in a row, I was totally okay. Not totally okay, but it's to be expected to have these little down sessions, and it didn't really get me down too much. But yeah, there was a couple of sessions where I was either really sore or the weight didn't, I got the reps that I wanted, but it was a bit harder than what I wanted, or things just weren't as easy as the week before. We start with day 1, which I believe is my comp squat. I hit a top set of 4 at 150 kilos. It suggested me to go for 155, and I think it wanted a 7 RPE from memory. I did the 150 for 4. Here's the video, and I put it down as an 8 RPE. Whenever I watch the videos back, they do look a lot easier and faster than they feel. So yeah, keep that in mind. Then I stuffed up the weights on my back off set, so I was supposed to do 137, but I accidentally did 127. But I don't know. I just mucked up the weights, but I did 3 sets at the wrong weight, corrected the weight for the last set, and then just left it there. It felt nice to do some 10 kilos lighter work. I wrote down the bottom there, stuffed up the weights. Felt good at least. I did some cambered bar bench again, 82.5 for 5 at 6.5, 7 RPE. The cambered bar is feeling really great, and it's helping me learn, because I do find it a lot better, that neutral grip. I do find it a lot easier than a normal bar, so it's helping me try and realize or learn, why do I feel this bar is better and easier for me, and how can I replicate that on a barbell. So I'm enjoying the cambered bar bench. Pause below the knee sumo deadlift, 3 sets at 160, whereas last week I think it was 4 sets at 162 or 165. So a slight drop in weight, barely anything, but also a drop in volume, as in less sets. And this was because later in the week the app has me going for a 3 rep max sumo deadlift. So it had me reduce the volume during the week, reduce the intensity, and take off a set in order to mentally prepare. I mean, it's 1 set and a couple of kilos, but mentally, if you tell yourself, I was telling myself, I'm doing a bit less today to save some energy for this deadlift, and the deadlift was on my mind most of the week. My day 2 is just spotto press. Last week, I haven't got the screenshot here, but last week it went really well. I actually started feeling that my spotto press was going just as well as my normal bench, if not better. And that's given me a lot to think about on how I'm using my legs, or where I'm aiming on the spotto press versus a normal bench. So my bench is a work in progress at the moment, and that's one of the lifts I got a little bit down about this week. I'll be up to that part in a second. But now that I'm kind of comparing my bench to my spotto, I'm learning a few things about my own technique, and it has me a little bit excited to work on things. It has me very excited to work on things. Some safety squats. This was last night. I had to come back to the gym to do these at a second session. 3 sets of 5 at 107.5. I'm doing these just in sleeves instead of wraps, just to try and work on some quad strength at the bottom. Pretty happy with the bar path. These felt pretty hard, but like I said, this was actually a second session. I went back to the gym last night just to do these. And, just before, the morning session, I'd done the stuff that you'll see in a second. So I think I've just saved this in a weird order, haven't I? Comp deadlift. Where am I even up to? I'm sorry, I've done this in a completely just stupid order. I'll talk you through, maybe I should just keep going with that day. So my comp deadlift, this is all just in any order. It asked me to go for a 3 rep max, 10 RPE. As I was entering the warm-up numbers, I think it did tell me to go for 225 because I said I was feeling good and it moved well. But I had my mind set on 220 no matter what. So I went for 220. Here's the video. I put it down as a 9.5 RPE. Absolutely killed my thumbs. Lower back was rounding on the 3rd rep. You can't see it, but I really felt it. I'm not sore today, actually, so that's great. Thumbs hurt. Body feels good today. I put it down as a 9.5 RPE because I know I could have got 5 more kilos. I could have grinded out 1 more rep for sure, but I'm not sure it would have been a great rep. Would have been quite rounded and things like that. So I was happy. I've never done 220 I've never done 220 for 3 sumo at this body weight or anything. So counting that as a PB, it asked for 4 back offsets at 185. I decided to do 180. I did 2 sets sumo, and then I did 2 sets conventional with straps to prepare for my strongman comp that's coming up in 26 days. I did some log press and Atlas stones. Atlas stones I hit 150 kilos, which is the most I've hit at this body weight, or the most I've hit in like the last few months. So that felt really good. I've been working towards hitting that. So that felt great. So now it takes me to technically day 4 or something. I can't remember where I'm up to now. I do the whole program in a weird order anyway. But the heavy bench press day, so comp bench, it asked for a top set of 4 at an 8 RPE. It was asking a 7 RPE. I think it was asking for a 7 RPE. But a top set of 4, I think it suggested 102 through my warm-ups again. I went for 100. I'll show the video here. I did my first set of 4. I did a top set of 4 and rated it, I think, a 9 RPE. You'll see this video here. The last rep looks pretty hard. Then I was a bit like dejected with that. I've hit 100 for 5 recently when I just do some AMRAPs in my own training. I've hit 100 for 5 at like a 10 RPE. So I thought, how great would it be if I could hit 100 for 4 and know that it was like a true RPE 7, but it was like an RPE 9. So I was a bit disappointed, and especially because I was actually going to work on sinking the bar a little bit more instead of gently touching the chest. You know, you've got 2 different bench press techniques as far as sinking the bar and launching with your legs, or gently touching the shirt. I thought that because I don't really have much of an arch, I thought I would get a lot out of the what's it called, like sinking into the chest and then launching with the legs and the belly. I just don't think it's working for me, bottom line, and that's why my spotter press is doing pretty well. So I'm thinking of bailing on sinking it in. Anyway, my back offsets, I went down and did 2 back offsets at 90, and then I thought, nah, I'm not happy with how that set went. So I went back up to 100. Here's the video. I hit a second set of 100 for 4 reps, and I rated that one an 8 RPE. It actually did feel a little better. So just working on my legs, bringing down a little bit higher, just with my arm length and my lack of an arch and my hunch, I really am trying to work what's best for me on the bench press. And all the bench press videos out there and watching how other people bench press, man, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel right. So I'm trying to think back to how I used to bench when I first started. It was always a slow lift for me, but I did a Smolov junior cycle once where you're benching and squatting like 3-4 times a week each. And I actually benched 140 back then, pretty close grip, kind of okay technique, not great technique. But I didn't know all about scapular retraction and scapular depression and bar path and stuff like that. I was just benching and doing what felt natural. And I think I'm just going to go back to that. So yeah, it's going to be quite a high bar. It's going to hit high on my chest. It's not going to sink too far. I don't have a massive arch, reverse grip. It just is what it is, guys. I put some notes there that I was disappointed with 100 for 4. Did it again, and RPE was a bit lower. At best, RPE 8. Staying positive. It had me doing some speed deadlifts again. 3 sets of 2 to 4 reps. Lighter than the week before. Last week it had me at 150. This week at 145. These felt okay, a little bit rough. But again, because it was going to have me do the heavy triple for sumo deadlifts, it had me just reduce a little bit of weight even on my speed work days. So I like that the app does that. When you've got like a heavy thing coming up, the 2 workouts before it, it'll just ease back the intensity or the volume. After that, I did a bunch of bodybuilding work, which I do on Mondays and Fridays, pretty much full body. Some cable crossovers, tricep push downs, lat pull downs, bicep curls. I do my glute work, a little bit of abs sometimes. Today I did some hamstring curls and leg extensions, just the fun stuff that I really enjoy. And that's the end of week 3. Really enjoying it. The app took money out of my account. I mentioned in the last video that I was paying for the app now, but I hadn't paid for anything. But it took out, I think it's $34 US, which might be around $50 here a month. I think. Hopefully it's a month, which is pretty up there, I think. But I definitely feel like I'm getting the value, because honestly, if I was writing myself my own program at the moment, I'd be doing a lot more strongman, and I'd be doing maybe 1 top set and then 2 back off sets at most. And this has me doing speed work, technique work, 4 or 5 or 6 back off sets. So I really feel like it's pushing me to do more volume than I would have elected to do for myself. I'm really enjoying it. Tomorrow is a rest day. I'm booked in at the Mayo because I've got some niggles and just not feeling 100%. But the excitement's there. I've got to go sign up to this comp. Hopefully by the next video, I'll have said that I've signed up for the competition. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hearing my review, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.